So we're in Luke's Gospel, chapters 9 through 16, which is just chock full of interesting stories, Jesus saying controversial things. And in chapter 15, he talks about lost stuff. He talks about a lost sheep. He talks about a lost coin. He talks about a lost human being. And so we're going to read the parable of the prodigal son, chapter 15, starting at verse 11. Jesus continued, there was a man who had two sons. The younger one said to his father, Father, give me my share of the estate. So he divided his property.
I know how Dad felt.
Not long after that, the younger son got together all he had, set off for a distant country, and there squandered his wealth in wild living. After he'd spent everything, there was a severe famine in that whole country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to a citizen of that country who sent him to his fields to feed pigs. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. I stopped there for a minute. So can you relate to the story so far?
Absolutely. Yeah, this is me in spades.
When he came to his senses, he said, how many of my father's hired servants have food to spare, and here I am starving to death? I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, Father, I've sinned against heaven, against you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants. So he got up and went to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him, was filled with compassion for him. Mm-hmm. There's that compassion again. Mm-hmm. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. The son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger, sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and he's found. So they began to celebrate. Meanwhile, the older son was in the field. When he came near the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called one of the servants and asked him what was going on. Your brother has come, he replied, and your father has killed the fattened calf because he has him back safe and sound. The older brother became angry, refused to go in. So his father went out and pleaded with him, but he answered his father, look, all these years I've been slaving for you, never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours who squandered your property with prostitutes comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him. My son, the father said, you are always with me and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found.
I like how he says, this son of yours. He's no longer his brother. He's just like, your son. I think it was Henry Nouwen who kind of unveiled this to me in a different way. Yeah, my life is like that. My dad had this college fund saved, multiple, hundreds, a lot of money. He did what a good father was to save up for his kid to have an experience in college and go and start a great life and be self-sufficient and all this stuff. And my trajectory was not that. This is where it hits me in the heart, where it's like, despite all that, he comes back, and
it does show the extravagance of God to be a father that just wants to expend more resources, a ring, a robe, a calf, towards someone who's squandered the resources he already gave them. It's a pretty radical picture.
I haven't fully grasped that, because coming from the prodigal's perspective, once I come back and I'm like, the cloud's clear, I'm a little bit clearer. It's like, oh no, all I want to do is make it right. And it doesn't seem like that's the point.
It seems like part of the point of this parable is what it means to be a son versus what it means to be a slave. It seems like the performance is an element within the genre of slavery. I have to perform for you to maintain the resources, and God doesn't seem to want us to perform for him. Connecting the prodigal to ourselves, and of course you're feeling a lot of emotion because you're the prodigal and you've come back.
I think it wouldn't be a jump to assume that he's experiencing some guilt living under the roof, but really being grateful at a core level of knowing that no matter what I do, I'm loved in a way that I can't fully comprehend, and I can always come to him. I hear his voice, and I have amazing spiritual mentors and friends. And
do you feel like you've made amends with your dad?
So through the steps, I definitely have. I feel I've made amends for all that. I've come back from the darkness in the sense of just being out of my mind on narcotics and stuff, but moving on and having a full life full of realizing potential, stepping into using my gifts for the benefit of other people, just to, that I feel like is the piece that has not come to fruition quite yet. So I keep hearing that learning how to live a Christian life and follow, less of that, and follow Christ, and actually in my heart and do that will speak louder than what I could say for my dad. I love my father, and he just wants me to be happy and self-sustaining and safe and provided for, without the compassion of people who really care, like really care, don't have an agenda. That's been the only thing that has ever transcended the barriers of loneliness, despair, discouragement, like any negative adjective you want to use. Like, it just, love walks on top of it all. And it's been, don't give up. I think it boil everything down. Don't give up, period.